Hi everyone, I am back, and so this is supposed to be my July update, but so I was taking a summer class. I think I mentioned this before, I might not have, and my finals were the last week of July, and so I am now done with my summer class, and I have 2 weeks off until school starts again. It starts on the day of the eclipse, so that's a little sad, but yeah. So I have gotten a lot of stitchy stuff done, or a lot of stitching done, and as it should be in the title, I do actually have 2 finishes, which is insane for someone who has never finished anything bigger than like this big before. So I want to show you guys that, and so that's another reason why this video is delayed. It's supposed to be the July video, but it's now 1 week into August. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough to show you guys to make like a video worthwhile, because my last video was like 9 minutes or whatever, and it was mostly not stitching stuff. And I do have a lot to show you this time, so I'm really glad, and let's get right into it. So my first finish is actually Sing a Sampler. It is the Do Re Mi Sound of Music one, and it is finally done. I finished it on the 17th of July, that was Monday, and I took it into the frame shop the very, actually that's a lie. I was going to take it right into the frame shop, but instead I waited until that Friday to take it in, because I went to the local quilting and stitching guild, and I got my scholarship, and that was really fun. And I wanted to show kind of that off too, like, hey, I actually finished something, look at this, it's so cool, because I just wanted to show it off to everybody. Sorry if my voice sounds a little weird in this video. California's being mean right now, and allergies and heat and all that stuff, so my throat's a little closed up, but that's alright. So, I'm going to, okay, so, the stitching guild, quilting guild was on Thursday, and I took it in like first thing Friday to go get it framed, and I got it back on the next Thursday, I think, so a little less than a week. And then I was able to take it to the person it was supposed to be gifted to that next Friday. She is a teacher at the high school I just graduated from, and she loved it so much. Like, I don't have permission to show you, but I did take pictures of me giving it to her and all that stuff, and she cried. She like sat down on the floor and hugged it and cried in the hallways of our disgusting school. That's a little mean. It's just, the hallways, aren't the cleanest part of a school, let alone a high school, and the fact that she sat down and just hugged it and cried, it's just, it was just so much fun to give it to her. And so she's deciding what to do with it. It would be kind of cool if she put it up in her classroom, since she is the choir teacher, but she also kind of really wants to take it home. I don't care either way, it's hers, and I'm just so glad I could give it to her. And before school starts, because I'm not good with dates, but whatever 2 Mondays after the 17th was the first day of school. So I was able to give it to her the Friday before the Monday of the first day of school. So yeah, so that was my first finish, my first big finish, and I felt so proud. If I can, I will insert a video showing like the whole thing finished, or maybe a picture or both, because I did take a video before we took it to the frame shop, but I was unable to take a picture of it, or I was unable to film. I'm so bad with words today, guys. I did not want to be able to keep it until I had time to record a video, because if not, I would have had it till now. So I did just record a quick video when it was like finally finished. And I do have a picture of it framed, but I was not able to record a video of it being framed and being able to show that to you guys. Sorry, that's just kind of what happened. Time crunch and all that. Hi everyone, so it is currently the morning of Friday the 21st, and it is just minutes before I'm about to go to the frame shop, because I want to get this done as soon as possible and right when the frame shop opens. and I don't have time to record otherwise. I've tried to record all week, but I just haven't. I finished this on Monday at like 3 minutes before midnight, and I can't be more proud, you guys. I have my first big finish. It's later than I wanted it to. I wanted to finish it by May, and then if not by June, and if not, it got done in July. So I've been working on this since August of last year, 2016, through July this week, or July of this year, 2017, and it's finally done. What am I talking about? My Singer sampler. I can't even fit the whole thing. So the lighting is terrible, and I realize that. I have my light on above me. I'm just doing this kind of spur of the moment, so I'm a little freaking out a little bit. So here is the whole thing, finally done. I'm going to go through really quick and try to show you all the completed squares now. You've seen them before, but it's cool to see the whole thing finished. So I'm going to do my best. Do, re. And I'm trying to show you guys like all the little details, but like, and I have used a lot of metallic floss, but it isn't showing up. This is so much more stunning in life, as all projects are. But so la. I just love this bluebird. I just love the bluebird. Also, if you see here, I used just a silver floss, and I actually attached the last needle I was using to work, and it looks a little bit darker in the center because I actually wore off like the shininess of it because I was working so hard the last day trying to finish this. Okay, and here we are at the last part. T, and that will bring us back to do. Trying to show you guys everything. There's the bread and the bunny rabbit and stuff. So I'm sorry for whatever mess you just saw. That was probably really bad. I'll do my best to edit it to make that clip a little bit better, but again, I don't have a better way of showing this to you guys that I know of, and I don't have time to actually like set up a nice video. This is just a quick little blurb. So I didn't use any of the called for colors in this. It calls for Weeks Dye Works and Gasts, or Gentle Light Sampler Threads, I think. But I haven't used specialty floss before, or like hand-dyed floss before, so I just stuck with DMC. So it's all DMC and variegated floss. If anyone wants my conversion, just put a comment down below and I'll be happy to give that to you as much as I can. A lot of for the variegated I have all the colors, but other times I just picked a color and went with it. But yeah, so if anyone is interested, I'd love to share that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go back to my regular video right now in the future, but bye for now. See you in a few seconds. So then the next thing that I finished, because I kind of got like on a finishing kick after that, was rose quartz. I think I showed this to you guys in my first video when I showed all my projects, but this is done. So I'm a little glare. I'm very proud of this one too. So this one's a little odd because it was supposed to, I'm trying to find a place without glare, but our house is just all windows, so that's a little difficult. So this was, on the chart it said it was supposed to be 12 inches tall by 9 inches wide, but when I finished it, it ended up being 9 inches exactly, and then 8 and 8 and a quarter wide, and that was with my addition. So the original pattern, I'm trying to get closer to show you guys, the original pattern ended at the end of her arm here, and so everything here I charted up myself. So the original picture that this is based on is actually quite bigger than this. It goes up even farther and it goes up taller, and it's really pretty, and I wish I could have stitched the whole thing, but this was the pattern I found by Novocaine doll on Tumblr. So if you guys remember or don't remember, the reason I stopped working on this project was because, one, I was working on Sing a Sampler, and Sing a Sampler took priority over this one, which is for me. It's not a gift. And also, I lost the pattern I was making for this because it originally ended and I wanted to extend it past her arm. I was going into MS Paint and I was just pixelating the image myself and just trying to like get ratios, and that was taking a long time to begin with, and then my computer completely crashed and I lost everything on my computer. So I felt really discouraged to continue working on this, but I got those water-soluble pens, and I actually just looked at the original image and I looked at this and I just drew in where I felt the line should be, and I did that, and then I just stitched it, and so here she is. She's so beautiful, and I'm sorry about the glare. But yeah. And then so because it is such a weird size, 9 by 8 1/4, I could not find a frame to fit her correctly, and I did not want to pay for another custom frame. So if you look on the back, there's actually quite a bit that was that's cropped and is stitched and is not going to show in the frame. McKenna, I hope you're proud of this framing. I literally just shoved it in and then was pulling it, so I'd have it I was looking at it and then I was just pulling the little bits that I can to try to get it straight. So it's not perfectly straight and it doesn't perfectly fit, but it doesn't matter. It's for me and I still love it. And then with it being cropped on the side and having stitching that doesn't show, there's also white at the bottom that isn't stitched, because this is the cropped image of the picture. This is the bottom. Like, there's nothing that goes beyond this line, and I don't have enough fabric at the top to have pushed the bottom to the bottom and have white at the top. But I really don't care. It is a finish. It is framed. I enjoy it and I love it, and it is going above my door in my bedroom. So I don't know if you'll be able to be able to see that white. Like, you know, if it's up high and it's looking up at it, you're not gonna see the white at the bottom. Maybe you'll be like blocked by the frame. So those are my two finishes. So the next thing I was going to try to finish was Electra. And I have her here. I've barely put in like 10 stitches on her since the last time you saw her. This is what she looks like again. Let me put something behind it. Yeah. So in terms of stitches, I feel like this one is my next project that's closest to being done. But I'm just not in the Halloweeny mood yet. It's August, so I think maybe in September or October I'll start working on her again. But yeah, so she is my next closest to being done. But also she is a personal project. She is from me. So I think the next one I'm going to try to keep working on is my dollar horse. Let me move the strings on this one again. So this is as far as I am done on it, and it is only one side, and I haven't even started the border. No more progress on this one, I don't think. Again, maybe like 10 more stitches since last time. But this is a gift for a friend, and I would like to be able to give it to them, so this is the next one I'm going to be trying to finish. So Electra's being put on the back burner now. But after Dollar Horse and after Electra, I think I might want to work on, like, I'm not sure what I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on something, of course. But, yeah, so that is my active work in progress, and those are my two finishes. The next thing I want to show you guys is something that we actually found when we were cleaning up the house a little while ago. So I am self-taught in cross stitch, but I was exposed to it from when I was little, in my grandparents' house, there was a lot of little cross-stitchy stuff because my aunt actually did cross-stitch a very long time ago. And so I'd always see that and thought it was really cool. And then I had one of my friend's moms, she did it, and I was helping her like untangle her floss one night when I was staying over for a sleepover. And that's just kind of really what got me into it. Is like I've seen finished project, I had seen it in progress, and I told myself, hey, I want to try that. But from my aunt who cross stitches, apparently she did give us stuff when I was a baby, and I have no memories of this stuff. But so I covered up the names and the dates and stuff. But this is a wedding sampler for my parents. Trying to show you, and I can't get rid of the glare. I am so sorry. Like, I don't want, like, our house is just awful. It is full of glare, and I hate it so much. But trying to show this to you guys the best that I can. That's not really working either. So I'll just kind of try to describe it. So it says United in Love, and then it says the date here, which I've covered up. And then it has like these flowers and a heart and more flowers and two birds, probably doves or something. And then it says our hearts, our souls, our love forever. And then it has my parents' names at the bottom. This is really heavy. And then the next thing is that apparently she had stitched me a birth sampler or something like that when I was little. This one is not as heavy, not as big, so maybe I can control the glare a little better. Nope, doesn't look like it. What is it that's reflecting there? Is it just the window, or I don't know. Maybe you can see if I put it up here. So it has my name and my birthday at the top, I think. Yeah, so it's my name and my birthday at the top. And then it has the two like old geese and a little rainbow and a little house. And I'm not going to try to focus on the picture or on the words. It says, bless this child born today, guide her safely on her way. Grant her love without measure. Thank you, God, for this thy treasure. And then, so it has like this little border, and at the bottom it has hearts, and it's, and the next thing I covered up is that it says, handmade by, and then my aunt's name. She put like auntie and then her name. So this is really cute. I didn't know I had this, and apparently it'd been up in my bedroom when I was a little baby. So that's really cool. I just thought you guys might appreciate that. So let's see. What's the next thing on my notes I want to talk about? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to go into is haul, so let's just get right into that. I bought another bolt of fabric. This is 28 Monaco by Charles Craft, as you can see there. So I got this because I still have my entire bolt of 14 count fabric, and that is fine for projects that are full coverage, no fractional stitches, only full cross stitches, and I'm very comfortable with that. But I do have patterns that have fractionals, and I don't want to pierce Ada like that. Trying to go between the threads of the fabric, no one should have to go through that. And I actually do have quite a little collection of Mirabilias now, and I would love to stitch these. And so they call for 32 count, but fabric can get expensive. Like cross stitch is, like floss is cheap until you need a lot. Fabric is cheap until you need a lot. And like I don't know where you would find, like I'm sure online or on 123 Stitch or stuff like that, you can find a bolt of 32 fabric. I don't have any LNSs near me. I don't have like the best way of searching for that. So 28 count I'm comfortable with because it's basically 14 count, just over 2. And oh gosh, what's his name? Let me look it up really quick. Okay, so Robert of Robert's Palace of Stitches. He is doing Mirabilia's August Peridot Fairy on 14 count Ada, and it is looking gorgeous. But I do like doing skin 1/1. I just like the way that it looks, even though it is way too much work for probably what it's worth. But because I can see that it does look fine on 14 count and the beads look fine on 14 count, I feel comfortable working on 28 count with it, so I can still do the 1/1 skin. So he's kind of what convinced me to buy this photo fabric, so I thank him or curse him because, oh no, I don't curse him. I appreciate knowing that because everyone does seem to do it on 32 count or higher, and I was just really worried what the beads would look like on a small account, but they look fine, and so I'm happy to have this. And I also got this for a bunch of paids that I purchased, including and like a Toten's Craft, and like, well, just like, you know, those bigger projects that call for like 25 count. Again, I have no way of ordering 25 count just from like an LNS, and ordering like a large amount of that on online is really expensive, so to be able to use like a 50% off coupon to get a bolt of 28 count from Joann is much more economical for me. And so that is like my big purchase since for a while. And the next thing I want to talk about isn't necessarily stitching related, but it's still very important. My family went to IKEA a little while ago now, and I got these lamps because I love my OttLight. It is so helpful, but it is, you know, it's tall, it's big, it's kind of bulky, and I wanted to be able to stitch in my bed without having to have a lamp by my bed. And my battery's about to die. Oh no. So I'll try to wrap this up really quick. I'm trying to leave my OttLight out here in the living room where I can stitch on the couch. You might be able to see there's a different couch here. We've gotten a new couch since then, since my last video. And I wanted something I wanted to be able to leave it out here, and I want to be able to stitch in bed. And IKEA has these lamps. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, but here is the information on that. So this is a really cool lamp. I got all 3 versions of it. This is the tabletop lamp. There's also a USB lamp that was very inexpensive, but I would not recommend this one. They all have the same name. It's just like USB, tabletop, and the other version. This one just, it isn't a long enough cord. It's kind of awkward to plug into your computer. And so like this might work for like writing or something if you're writing next to your desk and you don't have like a table lamp. This could work for that, but for stitching, it just doesn't really work because I would stitch with my computer in front of me, you know, if I was doing a digital pattern, and this just does not provide enough light. It's not long enough. It just doesn't quite work for what I bought it for. But I bought this version, which I think is my favorite version, even though I haven't tried out the tabletop version yet. So this is, I have the American Dream scroll rods frames or whatever, and so this is the like extender bar. This is like the 6-inch one, and this is how I was able to get Sing Sampler done. This light clamps on. It's a very tight clamp. I'm not strong enough to open it like without using 2 hands, but I'm sure most people would have no problem with it. I just have lower upper body and hand strength. I was able, so what I would do is I would lay in bed with my legs up, and I would rest my cross stitch against it, and because I was stitching tall, not long, I would have like this resting against my knees, and so this is like the back, this is away from me, and then so this would come forward, and I would just like angle it like this, and it would like stitch, not good with my words, it would lay and shine on my cross stitch, and I was able to get Sing Sampler done in my bed like this. It is very bright. It is very good. I really enjoy this light. I would recommend it. It does fit on extender rods. I'm sure it would fit on other frames and stuff like that. It has a simple like little switch that you can turn it on and off. The only thing that I kind of would change about this design if I would have designed it is that, okay, so it has a nice long cord, like very long, and it has this kind of weird adapter. It's an odd voltage. I forget, it's like 7 or 9 volts, which is a weird measurement of unit. So it actually comes with this outlet that's kind of weird and tiny. and then it plugs in to this adapter that it comes with. You don't have to buy anything special with it, and then this plugs into, you know, a normal outlet. Can you see that? And so it is a little big, it is a little bulky. And if I were to have designed it, I would have kind of liked it if the plug had undone here. So like instead of undoing here, it undid here. Like I wish that this was just a normal outlet and then it plugged into here, because it would be nice if I could just like unplug it here and then transport my cross stitch without having to like awkwardly carry the whole long cord with it too. But if you just sit in one spot and stitch and don't move all around the house like I do, it'll work fine, and I highly recommend this light if you don't want to. Okay, and I'm back a day later because my camera battery did die and I could not find the charging cord. But I was able to find it last night and I charged it on last night, so it should be good now. I think the last thing I said was basically just I really liked my IKEA lamp, the one with the clamp. I will try to open up the tabletop one and give an opinion on that too. On to the next thing that is stitchy related but not actual stitching, is that I bought myself some compression gloves just because my hands do get fatigued, because this craft does, you know, require a lot of hand strength and it's pretty tiresome on them. So I got these ones, the Creative Comfort compression gloves. I really like these. I absolutely would recommend getting the ones that go all the way up your fingers. Not like, so you can have like your fingertips, but they should cover like if not one knuckle, the second knuckle too on your fingers. It's just better for them. And I really like these. I'm not wearing them right now because I'm not stitching, and I have, since yesterday I got an injury on my finger, so my hand's a little swollen, so it hurts too much to wear them right now. But I do really like them. They come with different like sizing options. I'll show that to you guys, but if you guys can't read that, I don't think it's focusing. So it's based off the measurement of like this part of your hand, so like your knuckles across, and it says that if this length is up to 3 1/8 inch, then you should get the small size. If you are up to 3 1/2 inches, you should get the medium size, and if it's up to 4 inches, then you get the large size. If you have larger hands than that, I don't know what to tell you. But I really like these as well. I feel like they've helped my hands be a little less tired after long days of stitching. And of course, like I always try to do hand exercises too to help my fingers. And the very last thing is a little different. So I found this shirt, I think at, oh, don't quote me, Kohl's, I think, maybe. It's by Mud. It is a utility shirt. It just says on here it's Mud, and it's called a utility shirt, and I got the size that fits me. And it's out of a really like soft material. I really like it. It's because it's heavy, but it's not like overly warm, I don't think. Like it feels like a hug, kind of, I would describe it. And but it's not too warm. And so like you could wear it just as like a shirt, or you could wear it like with a shirt underneath it and just kind of wear it as like a jacket. It is like a denim blue. It also came in like a red, and I think like a cream and a like army green. My store only had the army green, but I went home and I looked if it came in blue, and it did. I'm planning on stitching on this. I don't know how I particularly feel about cross stitch on clothing, but I think it's really beautiful. Like when I see embroidered clothing or cross stitch clothing, I think it's really cool. I just don't know if I have the patience to do it without like, I don't know, like I got the waist canvas stuff to put on it, but I just do feel like that's going to be a lot of work. And then another thing that I'm going to do to the shirt is I'm going to dye the sleeves. So I've always been like a fan of different colored sleeves on clothing, and I've noticed more lately that there's like a trend in fashion where like the bottom half of clothing will be dyed and like the other half will be not dyed, so it's like you probably can't see the shirt very well with everything in my house with the lighting. But I've noticed that it's very common for like the bottom, including like the shirt and the sleeves, to be dyed one color, and then it just kind of like umbras or like gets lighter and it fades like the normal fabric. And I think that's fine. I don't personally like it covering up the shirt too. I just like it on the sleeves because like the arms are separate from the body kind of. And so I think I'm going to be planning on using the RIT dye, the dark purple, and making the sleeves purple. And if I ever get around to stitching this, I will be sure to show it off. But I have big plans, and I'm not very good at following through, and I'm a very slow stitcher, and I have other things I'm working on, so this may not get done for a while. So thank you so much for watching. I'm just putting my shirt away. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot, and I'm going to try to get a lot of stitching done, but my hands are hurting. So I'll see you when I see you. Hopefully I'll have an actual August update in August, because this is supposed to be my July update. And if not, I'll see you guys in September. Bye!